before we kick off today's video, I want to do a Q&A officially. We've done some unofficial ones, but those don't count. This is going to be the real deal. Hit me up in the comments down below on this video, at me on Twitter, DM me on Discord with your question. Submit your question for the official Q&A, and I will do my best to answer all of them. And before we get into the video, I do have another announcement on top of that one. There are boost points now in the Gold Shop. The Gold Shop is a limited event, so it's not going to be here forever. The boost points go into your boost points immediately once you purchase them, these 50 boost points. They're very well worth it if you're wondering, is it worth 100k? Very well worth 100k, if only to save you 25 energy from having to run another GBR Dormammu. But they do stack onto your boost points right away, so don't use them, don't collect it or buy it until you have 100 boost points, because they do not go into your inbox. Now, Marvel Future Fight feels dead. There's no doubt about that. The update came and went, and while there are still a lot of people working their way through the Epic Quest, and we did have some fun moments, you know, with Havoc being pretty good and Madeline being Booba and stuff, overall, I would still give this update a pretty poor rating. You know, it's probably like a C, maybe C+ at best, in large part due to the things that we had already sort of seen coming from the live stream and the patch notes. You know, copy-pasted Epic Quest, no reward bumps, no interesting tier 4s, no game mode improvements, that sort of thing, right? And we've sort of talked about these things ad nauseum, so I'm not making another video basically pointing out the stuff that you guys already know, that the devs need to like work on game modes, but they also need to like make interesting characters, but they also need to like update existing rewards so that the game feels fresh. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I want to do is basically give you distill down and then give you guys the feeling that I had today, which was admittedly a pretty bad feeling, so I do apologize in advance. But I was playing Diablo 4, and I was playing the new season, the season of the Construct, I believe it's called, and I played the last season, the season of Blood, like a few months back with Gemma Chan, aka our Cersei, who did the voice acting. So there is sort of already a 1 degree of separation between those two games. Even though they have very little to do with each other otherwise. I mean, I covered the Diablo Immortal release as a sort of mobile ARPG on this channel years ago, but that was a massive cash grab, pay-to-win shit. But, you know, in a lot of ways, these games are different, right? This is a mobile game. This is 9 years old, whatever. Diablo 4 came out last year, so it's brand spanking new. It's got a price tag on it. It's not free to play, but it can sort of be pay to win with the Battle Pass. But for all intents and purposes, they're not similar games. So you're probably wondering to yourself, how is playing Diablo 4 giving you the vibes of MFF? Like, surely Diablo 4 has much more to offer, especially with a brand new season, right, Alex? Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do two things. I want you to think of a season of Diablo 4, or any other ARPG for that matter, Path of Exile, Last Epoch, whatever. Think of a season as an update in Marvel Future Fight. We get more updates than ARPGs get seasons, but the seasons are bigger, so think of a season as like 2 or 3 updates, like all bunched together, right? That's the first thing I want you to consider. Then the second thing I want you to consider is that I'm not the best source of information or sort of reaction opinion on how the Diablo 4 season is going. So I therefore want you to look at these people's reactions. If you just go over to YouTube and you type in Diablo 4 Season 3 and you search, and then you take a look at the titles of these videos. Diablo 4 Season 3 First Impressions. Is it fun? Question mark. Over 100,000 views. The state of Diablo 4 right now with a laughing emoji and flames in the background. I mean, you don't need to be a scientist to figure out what they're trying to say here. Or they could just be very straightforward. Diablo 4 Season 3, I don't like the theme. It gets worse. Let me just be honest with you guys. It actually gets worse before it gets better. Sad faces, etc. It's not good. The new season is not getting a good reception. The reviews are bad. The player base is dwindling. It sounds a lot like Marvel Future Fight. For a game that's not even a year old, the new season sounds a lot like Marvel Future Fight. Everybody is checking out the update, and they're like, wow, it's the same old shit as last time. Okay, bye. And they're turning around and they're leaving. And that's literally the problem. That's literally the problem between both games, is that they've made this promise to the players, as all games do nowadays, unless it's like Minecraft or chess, where they say, listen, we're going to continuously update this game, sort of like a live service, and in return, you're going to log in and play every day. And the day-to-day gameplay doesn't have to be like so mega exciting every single step and every single moment, but you know that it's going to be really fun the week after they release Wolverine. You're like, oh man, it's so good. And then maybe after 2 weeks, it's like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And then after 3 weeks, you're like, okay, I'm kind of bored of Wolverine, but you still kept playing. and you still kept grinding, and you still kept collecting your rewards, right? You still kept stockpiling your resources. Why? Because you remember that feeling from 3 weeks ago when they released Wolverine. You're like, oh, damn, there's a new update coming. There's a new season coming. They're going to drop another Wolverine. Not, of course, Wolverine himself. That would be stupid. That would be like Captain America getting uniforms every 6 months. But they're going to drop a Doctor Strange, or they're going to drop a Madeline Goblin Queen Pryor, or they're going to drop, Captain Marvel. And so that keeps you on the hamster wheel. That keeps me on the hamster wheel. It's not an insult. It's just the reality of how these games work, right? They show you something really cool, and they're like, hey, we're going to give you this waifu booba every month. So then the Genshin players keep grinding Genshin, even though the gameplay gets boring and repetitive, because every game gets boring and repetitive eventually. And they keep doing it because they're grinding those rewards so that they can get the new Zhongli, they can get the new whatever, Venti, Trenti, Mochaccino, right? That's the premise, and that's that's sort of like the contract or the agreement between the unspoken agreement between players and devs. And this is what's been broken. This is the contract that's been broken between Diablo 4 players and the devs, and then with Marvel Future Fight and the devs. The updates have been lackluster. The updates have been boring. The updates have not added new things. The updates have not made the players feel this sense of excitement. There certainly can be a very, there's always going to be a small contingency of players who love whatever they do, right? I'm not talking about those players. I'm talking about the majority of players. The players who message me and say, Alex, why is the game so boring? The players who say, wow, the game's so dead. The players who go to the Discord or go to the forums and they're like, wow, nobody's here. What's going on? It's like right after the update. You know how many times I saw that message from different people being like, it's less than a week after the update. Why is the channel so quiet? Bro, because people are just tired of it. And this is the thing. When you have someone, when the whole goal is to get someone to log in every single day, and then the promise is that we're going to bring hype shit every month or every like 6 weeks, and then you don't deliver on the hype shit once. You don't, the first time you don't deliver on the hype shit, okay, let's call that Loki. Everybody wanted God of Stories. It's way past spoiler expiry date now, right? Everybody wanted God of Stories with the horns and all the threads. What did we get? We got this motherfucker. We got this boot shining dumbass, right? We got this a nickel for your troubles, sir. We got this chimney sweep clown. Okay, everybody's like, all right, true. Okay, what's the next update? What if season 2? That's gonna be a banger, right? An absolute turd of an update. Yeah, sure, they gave us Kahori for free. The rest of the update was turds, bro. Absolutely turds. And this is the biggest thing here for Marvel Future Fight specifically, is that it's not just that the updates themselves were bad. It's that the thing that they told us was the most important to grind, the tier 4s, are bad or just mid. You cannot base your entire game's progression system around tier 4 and then make those tier 4 characters mid. You just can't, like, it's over. It's literally over. Hey guys, welcome to my hot dog stand. I only sell hot dogs. By the way, guys, I shit on every hot dog. Bro, I'm going out of business on day 1. I only sell one fucking thing. And the thing that I'm selling it to you and it's garbage. So what are you, like, my analogies are not good, but you get the point, right? The point is, even if the update's bad, if the tier 4s were good, if the tier 4s were fun, like Black Bolt and Ghost Rider and Luna, like, oh, those are all seasonal, by the way, but if the tier 4s were fun, like Hulk used to be, whatever, right? If the tier 4 felt like Wolverine, it felt like Adam Warlock, you're like, yo, let's go, dude. I have some, like, new powerful guy to build. Yo, what do they got this update? After the shitstorm that was Hela and the turd in the toilet that was Loki, I'm not even going to talk about Captain Marvel, but okay. So this is 3 tier 4s in a row where it's complete dookie in the water. And that's basically that's all she wrote for a lot of people. A lot of people like once, twice, 3 times, okay, I'm done. I'm out. You guys can't get your shit together. Like I can excuse the no game modes. I can excuse the no rewards, but I draw the line at shitty tier 4s. There's just nothing left in the game at that point. And I use this analogy of essentially like water in a cup, right? So you see the water in the cup, right? When there's updates that are good or bad, but when there are updates that change things, here's what happens to the game. right? This is what happens. And it's like, it's exciting because the water's like moving. And you're like, yo, it's moving. Even if the game's like buggy and whatever, even if there's like glitches in the game, you're like, oh shit, something's happening. People are talking. The blood's pumping. This is what happens when you release Cyclops Tier 4. This is what happens when you release Hela Tier 4 and Captain Marvel Tier 4 and Loki Tier 4 and these boring-ass uniforms and these boring-ass skills and these boring-ass things. And then nobody plays, man. And then nobody plays. And then people say, I don't like this. This is boring. This is dumb. And it's the exact same thing with Diablo 4. The new season, the Season of the Construct, is basically a copy and paste of Season 2's Season of the Blood, except they took some of the fun stuff out. So they basically, they got the formula and they're like, the players were in Season 2, the players were like, this tastes pretty good. Can I have some more? And then they were like, we can't give them the exact same thing again because they'll know. So we're just going to pour like 40% water in here to like water it down. Okay, here you go, guys. And then the players drink it and they're like, this tastes like trash. I remember what the last one tasted like. It tasted good. Give me more of that or fuck off. And that's basically where we're at. We have all these cool tier 4s in the game. I have Cable. I have Professor X. I have Magneto. Why would I waste my time on Cyclops? I have Jean Grey. Why would I waste my time on Hela? And every player will make this distinction in their head. Sure, there are players who will just for the love of it. Again, there's always that small contingency of players who will like the update for one reason or another. I'm not making fun of them or singling them out. I'm just saying that those people are basically like excluded from this example because, you know, there's never 100% agreement, right? You can never find a group of more than like one person where they agree on 100% of things, right? Even twins will disagree on something, you know? And those bitches are as similar as it gets. So basically, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And it's really sad to see two of my favorite games circling the toilet of mediocrity doing the same thing. You know, if Marvel Future Fight was bad because they were taking risks and they were making a bunch of mistakes, at least it would feel different to me. It would feel refreshing in a way. It would be sad. It would be, you know, bad in another way, but at least they're trying. But the way that it feels now is they put the game on a track, and it's the same train track that we've known for years, and they just put it on autopilot, and they left the train. They're like, you know what? This is the cheapest way to keep the game going. We're going to do the minimal that we can do, and we're just going to see how far the train goes with whatever we got left in the engine. And when it runs out, it runs out. And that's honestly a more defeating feeling and a more depressing feeling. I still have high hopes for both games. Don't get me wrong. I still think Marvel Future Fight can pull through. And I still think Diablo 4 can definitely make more of itself. But it's just disappointing to see games do this sort of thing. And to give you guys an example of another type of game, as much as I rag on a game like Valheim, which, you know, came out, was a really good game, got really popular, they released a roadmap, and then they basically just abandoned the roadmap because whatever, I don't know why they abandoned the roadmap, but they basically released a roadmap and then couldn't commit to the timeline for any of the roadmap. I would rather that than what we have here, right? I would rather have an ambitious failure than a cowardly retreat, I guess, or like a coward that just copies and pastes, you know? Anyways, boys, let me know what you think. Let me know what your questions are. Submit your questions for the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.